All right, y'all, I'm back in here. If you get in here and you cannot hear, then let me know, okay? Because I just did a whole 30-something minutes talking, and my volume was not working. So I hope it's working this time. Are y'all about to get 2 videos with no sound, okay? Because it's still up. All right, let me fix this over here. Let's see if anybody says anything. Okay. Non-duality, so white. Yes, we can talk about this again. Again, if you cannot hear me, let me know so I can fix my volume. So now, y'all, I found out just recently, that the song by Karen White, I'm Not Your Superwoman. Y'all know that song? I'm not your superwoman. I found out she didn't make that song. Barbara Mandrell was the first person to sing that song, the country singer. Okay. I just found that I've been singing I'm Not Your Superwoman for years. Okay. I had no idea it was originally a country song. Same thing with Whitney Houston. I Will Always Love You. Now I did know that Dolly Parton sang that song. You know, Dolly Parton, first sang it. As far as I know, it was Dolly Parton. But I never would have known I Will Always Love You or I'm Not Your Superwoman if I had to go to the country music circuit to hear, because I never would have heard it. I don't listen to country music. Okay, that's not, something I prefer. I was never really introduced to it anyway, so that's not a place I would have went. I do listen to R&B though. Okay, so I was able to hear the same song, same words, they ain't change it, but through a different voice. Okay, and then I got introduced or got to know country. Now today I do listen to some country music, because of my daughter and some other people. My sister, she loves country music, child. So I've learned to like a lot of it. Okay, but it was because of Whitney and Karen White that I first was even introduced to the idea. I'm like, that was a country song? Let me go listen to this, see what it sounds like. When I say non-duality is so white, what I'm talking about is everything is country music. Everything. And if you don't listen to country, you just ain't gonna never hear the message. Okay? You're never gonna hear the message. And I'm wondering why. Y'all know I've been wondering why since I wrote FiringGod. What's the date on that book? Is it like 2014? I believe it was published. In the back of that book, I said, where are all the Black people? 2014, because that was one of the first things. I can't even describe the experience. I can't. There are no words to describe it. There's just no words. Okay. I do the best I can with what I got. Okay. But there are no words. There won't be words. There'll never be words. Okay. to describe it. Never. Okay. I don't care how big your vocabulary is. There just won't be. And in that environment, with that kind of experience, realization, or whatever the hell you want to call it, it don't matter. That's not the real word anyway, okay? With that, why does the non-dual community look like you walk in the halls of Congress? Why? I don't know if y'all have ever been to the White House, but if you go to the White House, they got pictures of all the presidents. You can't tell that from what's going on in the non-dual community right now. I mean, there's not much difference. Okay. And it's not just what you see, it's what you hear. is what you hear, okay? If this community, the parrots, you know what parrots are famous for, okay? They repeat anything they hear. You got to be careful what you say around a parrot, okay? They'll repeat whatever they hear. Tell me, somebody put in here that I'm lying, okay? If you go here and you listen, you ain't gonna hear nothing but the same thing over here. The same, why? We have had this amazing, I mean, this amazing opportunity, you know. At some point, we were willing, okay, to for whatever reason, willing to see or even ask the question, is this all there is? Okay. And see that yes and no. You know what yes and no looks and feels like? Okay. We were able to see that, to hear that, to feel that, to be that for however long. And what are we doing with that information? Rinse and repeat. Many of us rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay. And it's unfortunate. It's very, I asked that question at the end of Firing God because I was shocked. I was shocked, you know, because I was like, if anywhere where we would have the opportunity to see something other than the current narrative, the current black and white narrative, the current good and evil narrative, okay? If anywhere we were able to see that, that would be in the non-dual community. Why? Because of the information that we have, you know, because of what we've chosen to stop ignoring, you know. And the fact that that question even rose is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's why I asked it. Because I'm like, okay, I've just come out of Christianity, okay, which is a religion that is, I mean, good and evil is baked in, honey. Black and white is baked in. Okay, you hear me? Baked in. You know, and you get a certain scene from that. You see certain things growing up from that. I told y'all on this channel, as a young child, elementary school, my whole family was religious. Everybody. There was preachers, there was deacons, everybody loved the Lord, okay? Everybody. But I mean, but just subconsciously, without anybody blatantly telling me, Cheryl, white people are better than you, all right? That was not blatantly said to me. Nobody blatantly said that, okay? But I got the subliminals. I'm in elementary school. I got the subliminals, okay? And they were deep rooted in elementary school, okay? And I told y'all on this channel how one day this little white girl touched me on my arm. I don't know if it was an accident or what, but I felt like the most special person in the world. I felt really special in that moment, because this child who did not have as much melanin in her skin as I did was clearly, inherently, she was born better than me, okay? We were the same age. She was just born better than I was. So for her to even touch me in that moment made me better. It made me better. Okay, at least for the amount of times. Now, when she wasn't touching me anymore, I was back to where I was. Okay, that's what I grew up with. That's what I saw, especially growing up in Louisiana. I mean, come on now. That's what I saw. That's what I believed. That's what I believed. That's what many of us believed, and not just those of us growing up in the South. Okay, even in the workplace right now, today, 2022, in the work, I've said out of my own mouth, I've posted on LinkedIn, if I was a white man saying the things that I say, I'm talking in cybersecurity, okay, with the ideas that I have, I know I would be much further along than I am right now. I know it. And it's not just in the cyber profession, which is mostly men anyway, you know. But I mean, it's like a given. Okay, I was talking about this with my when I went to lunch today. I was like, it's a given, you know. The weight of what I'm saying, because it's coming from a Black woman, okay, is not what it would be. Ijeoma Olowu just wrote this book. She wrote So You Want to Talk About Race. It's a very good book. But she just wrote another one that I'm almost done listening to. It's called Mediocre. That's all you got to be. I ain't even got to be as good as I am, okay? If I was just mediocre but didn't have as much melanin, okay? I'm stating facts here. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm stating facts, and I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why the non-dual community is reflected in the facts that I'm stating right now. Why is that? And when I what is your name there? Nothing Media, Emerson. I'm gonna tag you in this, Emerson, okay? Because you had a really great idea. You know, when we first started talking about non-duality in color, I think you called it. I don't know what happened to that. I have no idea, but I don't see non-duality in color. I don't. And it's not just because I'm not, I mean, I ain't got to be there. Okay. Well, I'm telling you what I see and what I don't see. You know what I mean? But, and the thing is, for whatever reason, and I know there are many, I just got here. Okay. I'm what, 40, how old am I? 46 years old. I just got here. All right. What am I going to do in 46 years? Okay. I just got here. All right. One thing that I told myself after I had that realization, and I'm gonna tell you where this video came from too, as soon as I say this. One thing I told myself is, Cheryl, number one, you're gonna stop lying to yourself. That's number one. The person I lied to the most was Cheryl. Okay, that was number one. So I said, you're gonna have to stop all that. Okay, you're gonna have to stop that. That's number two. And the second one is, if I'm going to change anything at all, I have to start by telling the truth about it. Okay. I have to start by telling the truth about it. Hey, Daryl. You said, as a child, I distinctly remember family believing that I was not as intelligent nor as clean as whites. No one ever told me that. No, nobody ever told us that. They ain't got to tell us. Didn't grandma say actions speak louder than words? Yes. You're there to tell us nothing. Okay. So I'm going to tell myself the truth. And if there's anything I'm going to change, it's going to have to start with the truth. And I know, so let me tell you how this started, right? I was, now when I look at different videos, whatever videos I look at, it don't matter. And I look at makeup stuff and mukbangs, and I mean, I'm all over the place, child, all over the place. I look at the non-dual stuff. I look at some TD Jakes videos. There's this lady I just discovered from Jamaica. She's amazing. You know, she does like, what you call that? That natural medicine and all that stuff. She does, and I mean, she's just really cool. But I also read the comments, because I want to see what folks are saying, you know, in those videos, because some of them are hilarious, child. I just go for the comments because they're so funny. Okay. But I was looking at Ariana's video, one of her videos today, and I'm reading the comments, okay? And one lady asked Ariana, what's her last name? That girl, the non-dual one, not Ariana Grande. I forget her last name, or whatever her tag is. But one lady asked, I think it was a lady, but she said, like, what do I do? How does she ask that question? Like, what changes? She was asking about like eating or something, like, will my eating change, or other stuff like that. Like, it was a really practical kind of question. You're like, what kind of things will change when I do this or whatever, or when I finally have a realization or something. I don't know. And Ariana said some mystical nonsense or whatever, and then this other person chimed in about something that had nothing to do with what this lady, was asking about. But I was like, you know what? And this is where I get to the so white. We don't have to mimic each other. I don't have to say what Rupert Spira is saying, to make my experience legitimate. I don't have to write what I don't know who these other people, whatever these other people are out there writing, to make what I experienced and went through and the work I did to make that legitimate. Okay. I don't have to be touched by a white person. Okay. Or a person who claims to be white. Because that shit ain't true either. Okay. In order for me to be legitimate. The way I thought when I was in elementary school. Okay. No. I don't have to piggyback, to validate what I feel, what I experienced, and the things that I say. No, I don't have to do that. All right. One of my favorite speakers in the world is James Baldwin. Him and the guy who won the Nobel Prize. What's that guy? I forget his name, but he was a physicist. I love them both. Okay. And but James Baldwin is absolutely, one of my favorites. And he said in his one of his speeches, he said, even white people are trying to be white. Okay. Because white is a status. Okay. It's not, ain't nobody white over here. There is no whiteistan where white people come from. Okay. Or Blackisburg, where Black people come from. You know what I'm saying? Ain't all that. Y'all, everybody knows white and Black is some made up ish. Okay. It's made up ish that's still being perpetuated even in the non-dual community. All right. It's still being perpetuated. It's a status. I wrote in my, I did a blog on New Harbinger website about white Christmas. And I got all that stuff up in there. Okay. But even in communities where ain't nothing but melanin. Okay. Like, that's all you see. Okay. You got folk, I would be the light-skinned chick in these communities. Okay. All right. Even in those communities, you have white. You have a status of white. That ain't got nothing to do with melanin. Okay. And that's what I'm talking about here. We arbitrarily, give bias toward the way something looks. All right. It's like that research that I told y'all that I did some months ago, where this guy put up 1,000 years. He had pictures of people. Here are 1,000 years of individuals who have changed the state of learning and development. Okay. The people who have created frameworks and come up with innovative ideas and all. Again, looking like Congress. Okay. Which made me, now I got to go do, the research I need to do. Because number one, I know that this is not true. And we know that's not true. Come on now. But that's what we're made to learn. When I did the 1 month leadership thing, and I looked at the references, you got a whole month of leadership training, okay? And you're referencing everything you're using. Why is every reference 30 days of lecture and training? You ain't got not one person of color who contributed anything, who wrote anything relevant to learning. Okay. You're not peeing on my leg telling me that it's rain. Okay. Because, telling the truth. That's where it starts, telling the truth about, if we're in 2022, I just saw last week on Twitter, somebody said the first Black woman to you know, earn a degree and whatever. I'm like, this is 20, if you still talking, if you could count on one hand, okay, you still could count on one or two hands the number of BIPOC, you know, indigenous people, something's wrong. And we got all this stuff going on over here. And then here I come, I'm having this, you know, amazing, I don't know what the hell is going on. All I know is I feel like I'm in eternity. You know, I don't even know where that shit come from. Okay, so here I go. I'm trying to look and see, well, who else experienced this kind of thing? I don't know, what is this, you know? And then I'm looking around. I'm looking around for somebody that I can talk to about it that looks like me, and everybody's pointing me to Muji. Like, is that it? Oh, and it's frustrating. I mean, it's disappointing, and it's frustrating. It really is. It really, really is. I just had to get on my other channel there, the Biomimicry Institute. You know, biomimicry is where you go to nature to help solve, you know, human problems. Most, you know, problems in business and stuff like that, right? And I had to get on them folks because they was acting like they just came up with this, going to nature. I'm like, girl, have you talked to an indigenous American? You know, what are these tribes that was here before? Over there in, you know, Australia, them indigenous people, that's all they did. Now, why this institute acting like they've just thought this up over the past 20 years, that you go to nature and, oh, starting with the truth. That's what I'm talking about, starting with the truth. The truth that I'm no better or worse than you, and you are no better or worse than me, okay? The truth is that all of us are trying to live down to these labels that we've put on each other. You're trying to live down to being white, trying to live down to being Black, trying to live down to being a man, to being a woman. I mean, come on. For those of us, and I'm on the non-dual community because we claim to have more information. We claim to know something more, to know something else, okay? We claim to have stopped ignoring so that we can see something else. But if that's the case, why is it looking the way it looks? Why is it looking like we don't know nothing other than what we knew before? I mean, we got to do more than just talk about it, right? Do we have to do more than just talk about it? Emerson had a great idea. I think he called it non-duality in color or something like that. Where is that, Emerson? I'm asking. I'm just asking. I don't know if it's a courage issue, if it's a money issue, if it's a clout issue. Like, I don't know what it is. And it's none of my business. That's their project. That's what they're doing. Okay. But what I am going to do, science and non-duality community, all y'all folks over there, okay, I'm calling it out, okay, because I'm just not going to be quiet. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I was quiet for 30-something years, okay, because that's what a good Christian girl is supposed to do, just be quiet and follow along, all right? That's not me, okay, not anymore, that's not me. Okay, and y'all can do what the hell y'all want to do, just like I can. Just like I can say, now that I know that there's nothing to do, that I cannot change, now I can do what the hell I want to do and change whatever I want to. Now I can, okay? When I thought that I had to change, I had to be different, I had to do, I was obligated, I was obliged to be better, you know, and all that stuff. Now that's when I was trying to, you know, put something in concrete and make it not change. Okay, you're going to be like this from now until, you know, until the day you die. That's when I was trying to not change. Okay, when I thought that I had to, you know what I mean? To live a better life, to get to heaven, to be a blessing, to, you know, all that stuff. I grabbed onto something, put it in concrete, and tried to stay, you know, stay the course. Don't look left or right. Don't be lukewarm. You know, you hot or you cold. Okay, be one or the other, and then just keep going. Isn't that something? Now that I see, I can't even change what for what, where, who, with what. Now that I see, I can't. Okay, here we go. Now we changing. You know, we ain't nothing in concrete now. All them flags that was in the sand, those are gone. If they're not gone yet, I know they can go, and I'll be okay. All right. That's the difference. That's the difference. And again, now that we see that, why does this community, why is it so white? Why is it so homogenous? Why is everybody saying the same thing? There's no way in the world why I should hear a young lady like Ariana, what's her face, saying the same stuff that that old dude over there with the white hair. He probably like in his 70s or something. Why? I don't get that. And all the slow talking, and I mean, come on now. That's how y'all talk in real life? In real life, not on camera. That's how y'all talk. This is how I talk in real life. You can ask anybody. Okay? I mean, come on now. Ciao. Oh, y'all not doing, folks. Y'all kill me. I'm telling you. You do. I'm here now. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. So I'm just saying, you know, and I felt like it's something that needs to be said. And I'm gonna tag everybody I know. Okay, y'all tag them too. Everybody I know, everybody I mentioned that I didn't mention. Okay, it's gonna be tagged in this video. Because we need to do better. We need to do different. Forget about better. We need to do different. Okay, people shouldn't have to come to your satsang or whatever to see something different over here. Okay, that shouldn't be the case. They shouldn't have to come to my channel to see anything. They should just start to notice. You know, they should just start to notice. But ain't nobody gonna notice if everything is white. There's no contrast. You can't see anything. You can't see anything. If everything is black, there is no contrast. You don't even know what black is. Okay? You don't know what white is. If there's no contrast, do something. Be yourself. Non-duality means not two. It don't mean everybody's one. Stop saying that. Not two does not mean one. It means not two. It don't mean everybody got to have the same message, same experience, same, you know, slow talking, same words, same outfits. You ain't got to have a satsang. Have a dance party. Have a dance party. You know, have a fishing trip. Shoot. Oh, my goodness. Who is this? I mean, come on now with the rinse and repeat. And like I said, it was the questions that I'm seeing and the brush off. You know, the questions and the brush off. Like you got real people, just like I told y'all a couple of videos ago about this guy who had a non-dual experience, you know, after he murdered somebody, you know, and other people that I know, like during war. And I think, Daryl, was that you who mentioned it, or Enjoying Myself? One of y'all mentioned how something about having a non-dual experience, like in the midst of war. or something like that, you know, and what would that be like? What would that, and you ain't got to be no special kind of nothing, you know, to finally get tired enough to stop ignoring the obvious. You know, you don't have to be in anything to just, for however, I mean, it don't take no time to stop ignoring the obvious. It don't take no time to do that, okay? It takes no time to do that. It's okay. I maybe it's a courage issue or something like that, or a judgment, you know, because if people see that, you know, Rupert Spira or Tim Kliss aren't you know, I don't even know what the hell, child, non-dual spiritual or whatever the hell, 24 hours a day. Like what is that going to do? Is that going to mean that they have not seen what they said they saw? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And these people may be they may be genuine. I don't know. All what I do know is what I see, is that I see rinse and repeat. That's what I do know. Okay, that's what I do hear. That's what I hear, you know. That's what I hear. And I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. And if that's who they are, there's nothing right or wrong with it. Again, there is nothing right or wrong with it. Okay. However, if we want a difference, then what Gandhi say? You got to be that difference. You got to be the difference if that's what you want. Because how else is it going to happen if it ain't you? How else is it going to happen if it ain't me? Huh? I can't tell you how many people looking at me cross-eyed because the same stuff I say here, go to my cyber channel and listen. Okay, you're gonna hear some of that same stuff. And people like, girl, like, what are you talking about? We talking about IT and bits and you know, and here you go. I did one about I was talking about the difference between digital and analog, okay? And analog is like one, is like a whole, it's like there's no break, okay? So there's no break, say for instance, between our senses, right? Like you can't draw a line of demarcation or anything between, you know, just being, you know, and this moment and the next moment and the next moment. We try to with time and all that crap, but there is no, like, it's just a big old long. And if you look at analog signals, there's no break, you know, they're just very, like, you know, like this, right? But digital signals, there's a break. There's a break and a break and a break. And you can tell now it's still like this, but there's breaks. You can see the breaks. You know, digital tries to be analog, like that's its goal. Digital's goal is to be analog, okay, because it's smooth and it's natural and, you know, and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So me going into that explanation, right, they were like, oh my God, this is some existential type things, you know, but you find this in everything, okay? In I don't care if I am talking about computers, okay? It's in everything, and I'm gonna bring it out, okay? But and that's what I'm talking about. You have artists out there, okay? You can tell a Picasso from what is that dude who used to draw them pictures with families and stuff, like with the rosy cheeked Santa and all that. You could tell. You could definitely tell the difference. They both use paint, some of the same color. Picasso used red. This dude used red. Picasso used white. He used white. Picasso. They both had a white canvas on the background, but clearly It's clearly different, okay? And one is not better than the other. What is that? I gotta find his name now because that's gonna bother me. What is his name? Y'all gonna know when I say it. I'm gonna find this dude's name. Norman Rockwell. That's him. He was an illustrator. I mean, and you know a Rockwell when you see a Rockwell, don't you? And you know a Picasso when you see a Picasso. They're both artists. Okay. A whole bunch of people around here speaking English. But why everybody sound the same? Why all the stories sound the same? Huh? Why all the stuff sounds the same? Why? Rockwell did not have to paint like Picasso for his paintings to be legitimate. Okay? And vice versa. No, they have their own voice. They express themselves uniquely. Not trying to be different, but just being themselves. And in being yourself, you're just naturally diverse. You're naturally different. Okay? What's with all this whiteness around here? What's with all this homogeny? I don't get it. And like I said, for this community, to me, it's especially unfortunate. Okay? Because if anybody would have the tools for difference, it would be the non-dual community. So what's T? Huh? For y'all who don't know, that means what's going on? What's happening? All right, let me go. I got some things to do. Thanks for being here, Daryl. I appreciate you. And for anyone else who is watching the replay, I will see y'all back here next time. Have a good night.